Hello and welcome. See, this is going to be a very different video than usual. It's going to be very relaxed and chill, not a whole lot going on, just me, and that's it. This is just going to be a quick, goofy little video, just because something interesting happened and I thought it was kind of funny, so I'm going to share it. If you haven't seen any of my earlier stuff, I made a couple quick, 30-second videos for Gordon State College because that's the school I go to as of this video being made now. It won't be that way soon, but as of now, that is the case. And I did that because they used to have video contests, and I take some classes there that required me to go see a performance that they had in the Fine Arts Building for a grade. I had to see it because I had to write some papers about it. So I saw it and I wrote the review and I thought it was kind of funny, so I'm gonna share it, and I'll keep the identities of all the actors a secret. My review of The Giver. The Giver is a book written by Lois Lowry and adapted for the stage by Eric Cobble. I saw this show on the 29th of March 2018 at the Gordon State College Fine Arts Building. The show is directed by and is mostly performed by the students of Gordon State College. When the show began, I was very impressed with the set and costumes. The world of The Giver is set in black and white, and I think this show did a good job with establishing the colorless world built around these characters. There were lights that were embedded into the stage that gave the set a futuristic feel. My ears were then greeted to a very nice sound effect of an intercom system. A very consistent part of the show was how obvious it was that time and money was spent on all the technical aspects of the show. There was a good attention to detail in the more elaborate set of the Giver's home. The unique aspect of the show was the way that color would gradually appear on the bookshelves. Another unique aspect is the stage itself, with how it was raked as well as being a thrust stage. The thrust and raked portions of the stage allow the director to move the actors all over the place with all the room given to them, and she does. She uses every inch of the stage when directing the actors. The decision to use videos projected on the walls of the theater to portray the Giver's memories was a good choice by the director. It is a very different thing for a stage play to do. Another very interesting thing that the director chose to do was in the scene when the children are being assigned their jobs. In order to show the passage of time, the characters started clapping in slow motion as the speaker slowly called each number one after the other. This was a very nice and unique touch. It reminded me of something I would see in a movie. Now I need to get into the acting. Played the Giver and was great. He was so believable as an old man, and he had great energy. His performance was by far the best one of the show. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save it. Performance was so good, but on the other end of the spectrum was a boy by the name of who played the character of Jonas. Granted, he had many lines in the show and never forgot a single one. He was also very young to hold the responsibility of a lead role, so I can commend him for that. Though he knew all of his lines, that doesn't mean he knew how to deliver them. Not being familiar with the source material, I was not sure of who the lead character was at the start of the show until I began to realize that was in every scene of the show. This was not a good thing. This kid's acting was like watching a robot fulfill its programming. He didn't express a single emotion in the entire show. There was a scene where I think he was supposed to be in love with the character of Fiona, but there's no way of knowing this because he never once made eye contact with her or moved any of his facial muscles. The Giver would transmit his memories to Jonas throughout the show, and each day he would reveal some sort of pain to Jonas through these memories, in which Jonas would feel those pains in that instant. Whenever Jonas would feel these pains, like breaking his leg, would portray this part by simply stating, not exclaiming, "Ouch, my leg, I think I just broke it." The absolute worst part of these memory scenes was when the Giver showed Jonas what war was. Upon seeing all the terrible and traumatic images of war, he stood with a blank face and repeatedly said, "Help, help, help." This line was so casually stated, it sounded as if I was listening to a How to Speak English recording and help was the word I needed to learn. If the scene required to sit, he would proceed to play with his sock. I would find myself watching him do that instead of paying attention to what was happening in the scene. If another actor was delivering a long string of dialogue, would mouth every word they were saying, which was again very distracting. The rest of the actors in the show were pretty good, aside from a few awkward scenes, like when some of the characters ran down the aisles pretending to shoot each other. This scene was confusing to me since I was led to believe that the only person who knew what war was the Giver. How would these characters know what a gun is, or that they're even used to shoot another person, if they've never been aware of what conflict is? So, what did I think of the show? I did not like it at all. In my opinion, it single-handedly slaughtered the show. The show itself was only an hour long, but I felt every minute of it thanks to... Looking at the program, I couldn't help but notice, under scenic design, if our father and son, then it suddenly makes sense how this kid snagged the part of lead actor. I cannot recommend this show to anyone. I had such a miserable time watching this. I couldn't even tell when it was over. In fact, no one in the audience knew when it was over until someone in the back began clapping. Stay far away from this show. The only memory the Giver will be transmitting to you is the time you wasted an hour of your life watching a train wreck.